Hi, I am Reverend Belinda Gentry, the missions pastor of First Baptist Church of Glenarden. So excited today to bring to you this 4-part series on Alzheimer's awareness. We call it The Power of Love. This series is brought to you as a collaboration between several partners. First Baptist Church of Glenarden Missions Ministries Department, also First Baptist Church of Glenarden's Alzheimer's Support Group, Dementia Friendly America Prince George's County, Picket Fences Senior Services Incorporated, and Visiting Angels of Largo, Maryland. The facilitators of the sessions are determined to make as many people as possible aware of not only the effects of dementia, but particularly Alzheimer's, and give you resources to help you deal with this disease. At the end of each session, there will be a resource slide. Be sure to take a screenshot so that you can get the help that you need. I am so excited to present to you this morning Ermer Nicholson. She is the brain and passion behind this series. And God used her to ensure that you would be able to get the information and the resources that you need. Irma is an advocate, serious advocate for dementia and Alzheimer's. She is a caregiver, and she is a member of First Baptist Church Glenarden Alzheimer's Support Group, the Hope Ministry, and Dementia Friendly America Prince George's County initiatives. So let me just turn it over to Irma so she can tell you how this all came about. Irma?
Good morning. At the beginning of this year, God gave me a burning desire to share my journey and to help other caregivers who may be dealing with Alzheimer's and individuals who might have Alzheimer's and not be aware. So I shared my passion with Vicki Kalinsky and Shonda Bellamy and asked them their ideas about this matter because it was such a passion to me, and I want to know their thoughts since we all are a part of Dementia Friendly America initiative. I had such a passion about this that I shared my thoughts with Reverend Belinda Gentry, and as a result of this, Alzheimer's 2020, The Power of Love was birthed out. We hope to inspire you, uplift you, give you resources, educate you, give you support and resources so you can deal with the everyday issues dealing with Alzheimer's. And with the guidance of God, we can make it through each day. Thank you.
So that was great, and you could feel Irma's passion as she spoke. And you'll hear more from Irma in part 4 of the series, when she and a few of her friends who are caregivers will share with you from their heart their journey. So enjoy the series. We are grateful to bring it to you because we know that this is the time and this is the season for you to know what to do and where to get help.
We are on the 3rd series of our journey. Week 1, we discovered how dementia affects the 4 parts of the brain. Week 2, we discovered the 10 warning signs and how those parts of the brain are affected. And on week 3, we are discovering the progression of dementia using the GEMS model. But before you jump to conclusions, thinking someone has dementia based on the behaviors that you see, ask yourself, is that normal or not normal for that individual? There can be some health conditions that can present itself with dementia-like symptoms, such as diabetes, medication, depression, vision and hearing loss, and new medical condition. They all can present themselves with dementia-like symptoms. There might be treatable conditions that in the right environment, with the right modifications, it can be modified. But the first thing to do if you think that there is an issue is to see your doctor, because everyone deserves a good medical workup. Now, when we think about dementia, think about the great big dementia umbrella. There are over 70 different types of dementia, with Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, Lewy body, and frontal temporal lobe being the most common forms of dementia. It's important to remember that dementia is not a diagnosis. It's a collection of symptoms. There are 4 truths about all dementias. Truth number 1 is 2 parts of the brain are dying. Basically, the brain is changing. Truth number 2 is nothing stops it. There's no cure for dementia, so we have to teach others how to live with dementia. And on average, a person can live 8 to 12 years with the symptoms. Truth number 3, it is constantly changing. It's a neurodegenerative disease, meaning it affects the neurons in the brain, and it does not stop until it's over. And truth number 4, it is terminal. But so is life. When doctors talk about the decline of someone with dementia, they use the global deterioration scale. That scale is based 1 through 7, with 1 being someone with no brain change and 7 being someone who has significant impact. It's the late stage of the diagnosis, of the symptoms. So I went and I pulled out levels 2, 4, and 7 because they represent the beginning, middle, and end stages of dementia. Let's read and see, let's hear what doctors say about someone in a level 2. A person who's been diagnosed with a level 2, they're subjective to complaints of memory deficits, most frequently in the following areas: forgetting where one has placed a familiar object or a familiar face. Yeah, that can happen, and I believe that's when most people know that there may be something going on, but really not sure. At level 4, the mid stages of the disease, there's a decreased knowledge of current and recent events. There's decreased performance in demanding employment or social situations, and they may exhibit some deficit in their own personal history, decreased ability to travel alone, and inability to handle their finances. And when we look at 7, level 7 says all verbal abilities are lost over the course of this stage. Frequently, there's no speech, only unintelligible utterances and rare emergence of seemingly forgotten words. Incontinence of urine requires toileting and feeding, and the basic psychomotor skills like walking are lost during this part of the symptoms. But hearing this is so depressing and it can be overwhelming. Who's looking forward to taking care of their loved one in this type of condition? So, as a certified dementia trainer with a positive approach to care, we teach families how to look at their loved ones as gems. You're probably saying, why a gemstone? Because a gemstone is valuable, precious, and it's unique. And if we have something precious and unique, we will value it. And we want individuals to be valued as they go through this dementia. So we have 6 gemstones. We have the sapphire, we have the diamond, emerald, amber, ruby, and the pearl. These 6 gemstones represent the 7 stages of decline with dementia. We have the sapphire on a hand of its own because the sapphire has to be able to take care of all of the other gemstones. So come along, let's see what each gemstone stands for and see if you can recognize where someone you may know are in their journey. That first gemstone we have is the sapphire. So the sapphire is someone who is on point. They're able to focus through the day, make their own plans. They're able to multitask and get through the day with no assistance. It's someone who has not experienced any cognitive brain change. However, there may be some changes just due to normal aging. A person in the sapphire state may experience some behavioral changes due to medical conditions, but no cognitive changes. But a sapphire can go into a diamond state if they're stressed, but go back as a sapphire once that stress is relieved. Oh yeah, you can go between states. Let's see what a sapphire's abilities are. So someone in a sapphire, if you can see there's no changes, if there's the vision is normal, the language, the hearing, the skills, strength, and sense of awareness are all intact with the sapphire. Then we have our diamond. A diamond is ruled by rituals and routine. So just like a real diamond, someone in the diamond state, they are sharp, they're hard to change, and they will cut you. They have many facets. So someone in the diamond state, depending on the situation that they're in and the people that they're around, they may present differently each time. It makes it difficult for family members to see if they're really in a mental decline or not. Because a diamond could be a zirconia, we just don't know. So someone in that diamond state, they need more repetition to absorb new information, and they respond best to an authority figure, like maybe a doctor or someone who's been over them for many years. But I can tell you, if you have never been that authority figure in your life, today's not the day to try. They will cut you. So when we get to the diamond state, the vision has changed. Now we've gone to tunnel vision. They misspeak when they're stressed, slower to understand, skill in the hands are slower, body still moving intact, but there's some decrease in their awareness. Our next gem is the emerald. The emerald is an interesting gemstone because an emerald is naturally flawed. And the flaw is within the gemstone. So the emerald doesn't know it's flawed. And that's just like someone in the emerald state. They do not know that there's a flaw that's occurring with them. They think that everything that they're doing is fine. They're independent with limited abilities, limited changes in their ability. Some of the things you'll notice with the emerald is there's more social chit-chat. They miss 1 out of 4 words that are spoken. So there's some lack of understanding in language that's spoken by others. They respond better to your body language and your tone of voice. So you may have spent some time with an emerald, and they won't remember the details of your time together, but they will remember how you made them feel with your body language and the tone of your voice. They will need more support for cues throughout the day. At the emerald state is when most people are recognized as having some type of cognitive impairment. And we see with the emerald, the vision has changed. They've gone from tunnel vision to binocular vision. Now there's more repeating of phrases. They're missing 1 out of 4 words that are spoken. The hands are strong individually. They're losing skill but retaining the strength. And when approaching someone in the emerald state, it's best to approach them on their dominant side. It could be different for each person, either your left or your right. They know who they like or dislike, and they're fine when they're in an environment that's comfortable for them. Someone in the emerald state would get lost in episodes and have moments of time travel. And that's when they go back to the past and talk about people who may or may not be amongst us. Our next gemstone is the amber. The amber is an interesting gemstone because unlike the others that come from the ground, Amber comes from the resin out of the bark of a tree. So this resin comes out and stuff gets stuck in it, and more resin and more stuff. And just like the amber is stuck, someone in the amber state, they're stuck in a moment of time. They're focused more on their sensations, their likes and dislikes. Because if they like it, they like it. And if they don't, they will avoid it at all costs. The vision has changed, so now there's limited visual awareness, and they're only seeing pieces and parts, not the whole picture. Because if you remember, as the vision changes, that field of vision changes with it. An amber will wear you out. An amber will cross your boundaries. They will invade your space. They are always having moments of intense activities. It's soothing for them, but it will be frustrating for you. An amber will need more assistance with their personal care. So when you get to things like bathing and mouth care and personal grooming, it can be distressing for an amber because now the nerves are heightened, there's more sensitivity. So there may be some resistance to the personal care. So if you're taking care of someone in the amber state and they're resisting, back off. Take some time away, reconnect, take a different approach, and maybe focus on a different area of care. So with the amber, now we have the binocular vision, so they're not able to see up, down, side to side. They're just seeing a limited ability of what's directly in front of them. There's repeating of phrases, and they're hearing the language, but it's out of context. And that probably has everything to do with being in an emerald state. You're missing 1 out of 4 words. So now you're not hearing the full story of what's being told. So someone in the amber state cannot follow long, meaningful conversations. It has to be sequential in what you need them to do. They are losing skill in their hands, but they can grab and hold on. And sometimes it's hard to let go. You're probably having that problem too, letting go. So with an amber, they still know who they like and dislike, very comfortable in their own surroundings. They're in that moment of time, unaware of the environment around them. It's all about the sensations. Then we get to the ruby. The ruby is where others stop seeing what's possible. Because by the time you get to the ruby, a lot of skill has been lost. So the skill in the hands with the motor skills, fine motor skills are gone, but you still have the gross motor skills. And the gift in that is a ruby functions off of rhythm and music. See, a ruby has a difficult time starting a task and ending a task, but if things are done in a rhythmic method, you can get the ruby to start and to stop. Just like a crossing guard who directs traffic, you're going to have to direct your ruby. A ruby is not able to follow verbal instructions, but they can mimic your actions. So show them what you want them to do, and they can follow. And another thing about a ruby, they still have moments of joy when you provide things that give them pleasure. So by the time we get to the ruby state, the vision has gone from binocular to monocular. So they've lost the vision in one eye, and the vision in the other eye is very limited. The body is now starting to shut down. It's starting to reserve the brain to take care of other things for breathing and swallowing and digestion. There's less language expression. There's more singing or hums or babbles. They will respond to social chit-chat. And if it's in a rhythmic method, you can get more of a response from them. At this point, all fine motor skills are gone. So the ability to manipulate fine objects are no longer there, but they still have the strength, so they can hold and grab and grasp things. If you notice a pattern when it comes to awareness of people, it doesn't change with the likes and dislikes. If they liked you before, they liked you. If they didn't like you before, nothing is going to change. It's all about how a person makes you feel. They're very limited in what's going on around them. They are only in their moment, and there's very little awareness. Then we have the pearl. The pearl is interesting because it is inside of an oyster shell. And when you look at that oyster shell, it's hard, it's rigid, and it's clasps shut tight. But once you can get that shell to open, lo and behold, there's your gem, the pearl that's been built upon layer of sand, layer upon layer upon layer, to have this beautiful gem. And just like someone that's in the pearl stage, a lot of times families spend too much time trying to take care of the shell, and they're missing the pure joy of the gem inside of the pearl. So if you can get that shell to open up, you can get that glimpse of catching one another's eyes. They will recognize familiar faces, tastes, smells, and voices. And someone in the pearl state, respect their personhood. Do not talk about them as if they're not there. When making decisions about them, make sure everyone knows what the decisions are. At this point, the reflective muscles are lost, and now everything is contracting forward. And that is so, that's because the brain is now pulling everything together. So those protective reflexes are lost, the breathing, the swallowing, and difficulty in moving. Don't take a lot of time with the shell. Spend your time taking care of that pearl inside of the shell. So by the time we get to the pearl stage, the vision is all but gone. The eyes stay closed most of the time. There may be brief gazes. The sounds have stopped. The speaking has stopped. The body is now shutting down, preparing itself for its next destination. And you, as the care partner, the best thing you can do for your pearl is to let them know it's okay to go. You have to give them that permission. Through this journey, dementia will take its toll on the body of someone with dementia. It will also take its toll on you, the care partner. So you may need to reach out for resources like palliative care that can come in, that can provide comfort for your loved one while still receiving other types of treatments. But as you get later on in the stages, your ruby and your pearl, you're going to need to reach out to hospice. Hospice can provide that medical oversight, supplies that are needed, and also that spiritual guidance. This isn't a journey you want to take alone. This is the time to start building that village around you. And I say a village because throughout this journey, your needs will change, and not one person can give you everything that you need. So I ask that you join a support group. so you can meet with other like-minded individuals who are experiencing the same things you are. Take time out for yourself. You need to make sure you stay full because you cannot pour from an empty vessel. This disease will either bring a family together or it can tear them apart. You have to make the decision on which one will it be. And then I'm going to leave you with one last thought. What if? What if something happens to you, the care provider? Does anyone know who's going to take care of your loved one, where they will live? Who's going to take care of them? How will it be paid for? What if you become sick unexpectedly? Who will be there to step in? Make sure you have everything written down in a legal document so that when something happens, because life happens to all of us, we already know what your thoughts are. Oh, and one last thing, reach out to the resources in the community, such as home care, home health care, in-home physicians. You do not have to do this alone. Thank you.